Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CQ the Watch Guy podcast with me, CQ the Watch Guy. Thank you so much for tuning in. So happy you could be here. I think this is the last show of the year. It's crazy. This year has flown by. But here we are, I think 15 or 16 episodes in. So that's 15 or 16 weeks in. And yeah, last one of 2023 has been an amazing year. A lot of growth, came down to the headquarters. Miami's now open. Life is good. But, when you reflect on the year, what a year for watches, right? In the watch market. So many great releases and so many things going on in the market, and you took a broader outlook in the past 3 years, and what a roller coaster, right? Whether you've been in the business or just a bystander or enthusiast who just likes to check in on the market and check in watches, nobody could have predicted the roller coaster of the last 3 years. You saw watches go to highs that people would have never even thought of. You saw some watches even go to lows that people wouldn't thought of. And you saw a lot of watches kind of stay stable, wasn't affected at all, which is very interesting. When you think about stable watches, Patek 3940, which is a perpetual calendar classic previous generation. It's a watch that I've been watching for a long time. And to me, it's a good benchmark for like the classic Pateks. And that's a watch where you see kind of stick around its price point, go up a little bit over the past few years, but you didn't see it drop like a lot of other dressy pieces. So that means that, the real enthusiasts are still out there, and they're kind of jumping back in the market, and they're appreciating, some of those classic models, as well as, the new pieces that are dropping are still getting a lot of action. The volume is back. You're seeing a lot of buying and trading. So the good news is people are enjoying their watches again. People are buying watches to buy them, to enjoy them, to have fun, not necessarily as a business move, where in the past couple of years it was a little bit of a business investment type situation. Listen, you can't blame anybody when you see markets moving that way. And you see opportunities. It's hard not to try to jump on an opportunity. Of course, you also saw a lot of people got burned pretty bad there. So as you go into the end of 2023, it's good to see stability back in the market. It's good to know if you get into a watch at X, you kind of know where the Z is of it, and the big up and down swings for most models are kind of gone. Things are kind of slowly stabilizing. Whether it's stabilizing at a higher price point or a lower price point, that's a different situation. I was talking to a collector the other day, and we were talking about the 5711, right? And like, there's not a world that I see where 5711 goes back to retail. It just, I don't know, 29 or 30 something thousand. They're trading well in the hundreds, maybe an older one you find in the 90s or something like that. But to me, at this point, there's so many people who their acquisition cost of that 5711 was into the hundreds or high 80s, high 90s. Of course, there are people who got pieces of retail, but so many of them took advantage of the market that, those who would sell or trade did it, took advantage, took the profit, and those who didn't, who aren't flippers or who aren't people, I don't want to say flippers, who aren't people who trade often or like to keep things in their collection, they held on to those pieces. So I just don't see a world where like a 5711 bounce down to 30, 40,000. I think a lot, of things would have to happen for that situation to go down. I just don't think you'll see it. I don't think you'll see a Rolex Daytona at retail either. I just think these are things you're not going to see happen. They're just not, it would take a lot of wacky things for that to happen. But what you can see is the stability. You see white dial Daytonas, mid 30s, low 30s, and they're pretty much there, right? That's pretty much where they're trading at. And listen, you might see some variations where it might come down a little bit, might tick up a little bit, depending, with the new piece of the new variation out there. Who is always, who likes the ceramic bezel, who like the ceramic bezel with the little rim around it, and then the people like myself who really love the old steel bezels, right? So I think everybody will be able to find the piece that they like. And good news is we're in a kind of a stable market, which I love, because again, you can trade and you can buy and you can sell and kind of know what's going on, versus before it was kind of blind, right? And you didn't, somebody offer you a price and you don't even know whether to trust them or not. But on the dealer side, is like, hey, what does it sell at, right? It could sell at X, or it could go all the way to Q, right? Nobody knows. It could go up or go down. So now we're in a stable place, and to me, there's such amazing values everywhere now when you look at watches. So let's just dive into my last picks of the year. Can you believe it? This is CQ's 2023 last picks of the season. And if you're like myself, during this season, you always gift to others. And now that the season's coming closer and make sure you think about yourself. Treat yourself. You work hard, you did good, you made everybody else happy. Treat yourself, put a smile on your face, put a smile on the wrist, right? So here I got a nice roundup, and make sure you're checking out the website, DavidSW.com. Hit the new arrivals tab because that's where you're going to see all the new pieces that are coming in. And we do have some amazing variety of pieces that have been coming up at some really good price points as well. A little bit of everything on the super high end, on the low end side of the price spectrum too. A little bit of everything has been coming in. So exciting to see great variety popping in. So make sure, every couple of days or every day, if you're one of those guys, click that new arrivals tab and that'll show you all the stuff we have coming in. We post watches every day on the website. So let's start off with the Tudor. I want to give Tudor some love. I think they are some really, really great values now. Now that we're at the end of 2023, you're seeing most Tudors at retail, a little bit above retail, making it such a great time to pull a trigger on such an awesome watch, great quality. So we're going to start with the Tudor Black Bay Pro GMT. I thought this was a great release when they came out last year. Nice, clean GMT. I love the yellow second time zone hand. Kind of nods like the Stephen Queens with the orange. With that yellow, I really like it. The yellow is kind of a really great contrast for the rest of the dial that has kind of that vintage inspiration there. And I think it's a gorgeous watch at $28.75 full set from 2022. You really can't beat it. Again, a watch you can do anything with, have some fun with. Looks great on the strap it's on. If you want to get really wild, put like a yellow strap or like a high color on it. But you can even do like a blue or something else on it as well, because the yellow is kind of how do I say this? It's a little bit tame of a yellow, so I think it will go with a lot of different colors very, very well. And yeah, again, nice 2 time zone watch. Great watch to get to somebody who's getting into watches, who want something a little bit of a higher quality. You don't want to break the bank. I think all Tudors are pieces that you should look at. But I think the GMT, the Black Bay Pro GMT, is a great piece just to add some diversity to the collection and a fun time, fun dual time watch, and just gives you a look of such a higher end watch, in my opinion. I'm a fan. Let's skip down to the Mega Seamaster 300 coaxial. Everything's coaxial. And this is with the blue dial. So I love the Seamaster 300s because it gives you that vintage style. You got that nice lollipop hand, the broad arrow, hour hand, and just the whole vintage feel and aesthetic of the piece down from the bezel. Even the dial itself has that sandwich dial. So there's a little layer between the dial itself and where you see all the numbers and all the markings. So it gives a lot of depth to this watch. $53.75 full set for 2021. Great value for these pieces. If you like Omega, if you're looking for a diver or a watch that could get wet, I wouldn't call it a diver, even though it's 300 meters, so you can dive with it. But you want something that has a whole different aesthetic than your normal diver. I think the Seamaster 300s are a great way to go. I really love the blue dial too. It's a deep navy, so it gives you a nice touch of color. But there's kind of this patina going on. There's full patina on the hands and the numerals and everything. So it really gives you that vintage aesthetic that I love in a modern watch. I love watches that look vintage, but I don't have to worry about servicing. I don't have to worry about it breaking and not being able to fix it. I don't have to worry about being super careful with the watch. And that's what the Seamaster 300 gives you, is a nice vintage inspired watch that you don't have to worry about. It's a coaxial as well, so no headaches. Just a smooth grooving piece. All right, let's keep the train going. One more diver, Panerai PAM 389 Luminor Submersible. I love this watch because it's a submersible, so it's a diver Panerai. You have a rotating bezel. It's in titanium, so even though it's a little bit of a bigger watch at 47 millimeters, because it's titanium, very wearable, very fun. Of course, this is something you're gonna put on, in a dress shirt situation. But you're having fun on the weekend. You might touch the water. Why not? Why not shop on a nice submersible like this? Full set. Actually, service papers on this one, June 2022. And it's a full set. So originally from December 2013 and serviced in June 2022, $68.75, a great price point. I'm a big Panerai fan. They're tanks, and I love the submersibles because they just give you, of course it's a Luminor, but it gives you a different look, a different feel. I just love the ceramic bezel there. Really gives you a different look on a normal Panerai. And yeah, I love that. And at the price point, you really can't go wrong, right? Nice, fun watch. It's a big boy watch, big boy approved. But if you're a little risky, you can shop it on there and have some fun as well. With it being titanium, these are super, super wearable. And next up, one of my favorite Hublots ever made. Probably top 3 my favorite Hublots ever made. This is the Hublot King Power Unico in titanium. Another big boy watch at 48 millimeters. I love this watch, and I've loved this watch a long time because this was one of the first watches to use Hublot's in-house movement. When these came out in gold, they were a stunner, and they were really competing heavily with the Royal Oak Offshores at the time, and the overseas in gold, because the price point was a little bit under those. In-house movement, beautiful chronograph, and just a look of the architecture of the case and the dial was just spectacular to me, and I was always a big fan of the watch. I'm still a big Hublot fan when it comes to their in-house movements, especially this one. 11,875, just a great price. This one's full set as well. Great price for this watch. If you're looking for something unique, if you're somebody who likes bigger watches around 47, 46, 48 millimeter, this one's titanium as well, so very wearable. Just a great looking piece. In-house movement is a tank. You hear nothing but good things about these Unico movements, and I think this is a great watch for somebody who's kind of in that, you're in the water right now, you don't know what to pull the trigger on, but you like a bigger watch, you like something that has a little bit more of aggressive design. I think the Unico titanium is a great piece to have on, and I've tried these watches on many times, and every time fell in love. The rose gold is definitely my favorite, but if you're looking for something a little more tamed down, I think titanium under 12 grand is a steal. And I know there are a lot of Hublot haters that talk smack, blah blah blah. When we're talking about Hublot, especially when we're talking about in-house movements, you really can't talk smack. We could talk about the ETA movements and blah, 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 and that's a different conversation. But when you're talking about things with the in-house movement, really, you're grasping for straws there to make complaints, in my personal opinion. Now here's a special treat. Patek Philippe 5960/1A, piece that you don't see pop up too often. Very limited production run. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that the 5960R is probably my favorite watch ever. Rose gold, black dial, chronograph, annual calendar, everything I ever wanted in a watch. And when I tried that on the first time, many moons ago, maybe a decade now, I fell in love, with the brand and that model. So fast forward a few more years, the 5960/1 came out on a steel bracelet, and that kind of, ruffled the industry, ruffled the feathers, because it's just a complicated Patek in steel on the beautiful Patek Philippe bracelet, a bracelet that, only other precious metal watches, but a bracelet that I think is one of the best bracelets in the industry. Multiple links there, so it's very flexible. It breathes very well. It reminds me of you could say a Jubilee bracelet from Rolex, or even like a nice Navitimer bracelet from Breitling, in terms of the flexibility and the breathability of it, and it's just so well done. So you put that on a beautiful stainless steel 5960 with this nice beautiful white dial with the black apertures and accents, red second hand, red minute hand on the chrono, and it's just a very sporty, complicated watch. And I said, to me, one of their first, sporty, almost racing inspired, racing colors at least, complicated watch. And at first, when it first came out, I remember being a Patek AD, and nobody was sure what the reception was going to be, because again, it's a complicated watch. It was kind of in a sports setup with being on a steel case, steel bracelet, so people didn't know where it fit. But I think it fits very well, and I always talk about, if you had to have a 1 or 2 watch collection, this is one of those pieces that'd be a great entry in there, because you have a complicated watch, you have a chronograph, it's from one of the higher end brands out there, looks gorgeous, feels good, and these are only produced for a short term. I forget if it's 3 or 4 years, but a very limited run on these, so you don't see too many of them popping out very often. I think it's just a great looking watch at 53,875. I think the price point is really good on these right now as well. And I think if you want something complicated, if you want something Patek, but you want something that not many people are going to have in the watch room or the watch get together, I think this is a great example for you to hunt. And if you've been kind of swimming around the Patek waters, not knowing what you want to jump into. If you're somebody especially who have a lot of bracelet pieces and really enjoy a bracelet more than a strap, you should definitely take a look at this piece. And remember, you can always put a strap on it as well. You can have a lot of fun with this piece on straps. 5960/1A, a really cool piece that just popped up. Now moving on to the Rolex side, I got two Rollies for you. First, we're going to do another Skydweller 326935. So this is a Rolex Skydweller 18K Everose with the slate gray dial. Beautiful, gorgeous watch. I love a Skydweller. I've talked about it so much. The most complicated watch Rolex makes currently, and it's just a gorgeous watch. I love the rose gold with the slate gray. I love a good rose gold bracelet as well. Best part about this watch, under retail, 49,875. I think retail is 50,400. So, you know, there's such great opportunities to not have to wait in line to get this watch, not have to, you know, kind of shop around with different ADs. You can just pick up this watch right now and still be under retail. So that's really awesome. This one's full set, April 2022. And yeah, if you like a good rose gold watch, if you like a good rose gold bracelet, I think this is a great way to go because, again, you're getting something super complicated with the annual calendar and the dual time zone. But, you know, you don't have to worry about it too much. You don't have to fuss with it. It's a tank. You can wear it, do whatever you want, and really enjoy that piece to the fullest of its capabilities. And you can really, I don't know. To me, I'm a big fan of rose gold watches. I'm a big fan of complicated watches. So you mush it all together, and a Skydweller is produced. And being at retail, under retail, is kind of a no-brainer for me if you're looking to get something like this in your collection. Definitely a great piece to check out. And we have a really good array of Skydwellers right now, from the steel to the precious metals and pieces on Oyster Shop as well. So if you're in a Skydweller mood, we got it for you. We got it. Now, last but certainly not least, we have to talk about the Rolex GMT Master 2. I call this the Guinness. I think that's the working name for it. I really like it. It's the 126718 GRNR, and these came out this year. Beautiful, beautiful watches. If you haven't seen one in person, you gotta, try to get one to see the bezel going from black to gray. Is just a really great color combination. Wasn't expected to love it so much as I did when I got them in person. And I just loved a precious metal Rolex on a Jubilee bracelet. I gotta admit to you, when the Root Bear first came out, I was like, oh, I love this watch if it came on a Jubilee bracelet. So when these came out on the Jubilees, I was like, these are the ones for me. And I could see myself owning the full gold or the two-tone model. Both really, really good watches. Prices on these aren't too crazy. Not a crazy premium on top of retail either. So it's a great time to snag one if you're interested in one. Beat the wait list. You don't have to worry about waiting around. You could grab one and not, feel afraid that you're going to take too much of a hit either way. Again, clean GMT. I love solid gold GMTs, but this one with the bezel, just perfection on the Jubilee bracelet. Just an amazing watch. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in this year with me. 2024 is going to be an amazing one. I'm wishing everyone a happy holiday season and a happy new year. And I'll see you again in 2024. Buy what you love. I'm CQ the Watch Guy, and I'm